Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Gilmore Girls, Season 1, Episode 8, Love and War and Snow.
I miss snow so much.
I do too. And
like,
so
a big whole lot. I
also go to New Hampshire almost every year for Christmas. One time did it actually snow while I was up there. I feel like I'm not even asking too much. I'm not asking for Christmas morning snow. Mm-hmm. Just like any time during the 10 days I'm there, if it would snow, it would be amazing. And
we should just go to Minnesota for Christmas one year and go stay at Mike and Trevor's.
Well, Minnesota or even like Colorado, like Boulder or Denver or something where there's just like snow all the time, or I don't know, Canada.
Yeah, well, Canada would be great. Yeah.
Just somewhere. I want to wake up one morning and know that there's stuff in the fridge so that I can make stew and it's already snowing and the power stays on, but I can just make stew and drink cocoa all day.
And have biscuits and gravy casserole in the morning, just all very stick to your rib type of
fresh baked bread to go with the stew.
Also, I would love to eat a frozen pizza.
Sure.
With some shaved Parmesan on top. Sounds great. Sign me up. I say this knowing full well the last winter I spent in Minneapolis, I was having a breakdown every time I'd have to go put my coat on to go and get in the car. Because if you guys aren't aware, in Minnesota, especially Minneapolis and St. Paul, it literally snows from October to May.
That's awful. I can't. I want to do it on vacation, and then I want to come back to Florida.
Yeah, but it was like I got so tired of having to put on what I called my purple turd coat, and it's just uncomfortable. And every time you're in the car, and I just like would hold my steering wheel and be like, "I'm so tired of this." And then I moved on here, and now I sweat to death all the time.
It's a different kind of terrible.
Yep.
So this episode is the first snow of the year. It's Lorelai's favorite time because so many happy things have happened to her when it snowed. So she gets super excited. It's like the middle of the night. She goes downstairs and opens all the windows and then just starts like binge playing the voicemail that Mr. Medina left on her answering machine. It's cute. But then she wakes up Rory and Rory's like, "It's not sexy. That's my teacher. Stop being weird about it."
But it's him, though.
Two things can be true.
So hot.
Also, we had like a cold open in this episode, and it was the first town meeting.
Yes.
So the town meetings become like a thing. They are, more often than not, extremely silly.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. And we met like the mayor, I guess, and Mayor Harry Porter. He's barely in this. Like, it's usually the town meetings are led by Taylor. So,
which one's Taylor again?
He owns the market.
Oh, right. Okay.
But they're usually really funny. And this one was about it was about a reenactment of what is the
Battle of Stars Hollow.
The Battle of Stars Hollow, which was like nothing.
They literally just stood there.
So Luke gets super mad because they're going to do this reenactment with like all of, 12 men from the town. And he gets so annoyed because it's not a battle. They just like stood there and like held the line waiting for the British to come, who never arrived to fight them. And so Luke is like, "This is so stupid. It's like the dumbest thing ever." And so when he sees them like preparing later, he ends up talking to Lorelai about how his dad used to do it too. And he's got like dad stuff because, of course he does. But he ends up starting to feel bad, so he like brings them all like warm drinks while it's snowing. That's basically all that happens in that plot line. But it's nice that Luke kind of like softens sometimes. He never gets into the spirit for town stuff. But
I like that.
Yeah, but he softens in certain ways.
I love a curmudgeon with a heart of gold.
He does have a heart of gold.
And then we saw him make eyes at Lorelai, and I just kept screaming in my head, "Don't get excited. It's not going to happen." And I just got so sad.
It does happen.
But so long from now.
So long from now.
So dumb.
But it's like, okay, it is one of the examples where I feel like the wait is worth it.
Okay.
What comes after that is bad. But waiting for it is worth it. But then there's just like so much bullshit thrown in. Yeah.
So we get it. And it sucks.
It doesn't suck completely, but, like, things happen to mess it up. Yeah.
No.
Do you remember we were talking about yesterday when we were recording the other episodes about, like, Joey on...
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. Yeah. I will say, I can't remember if it's before or after Lorelai gets in a relationship with a guy that played Gabe on Maisel.
Okay.
I personally love it.
Okay.
Anybody out there, I'm curious what you think, because I kind of like Jason. That's his name.
Okay.
I kind of like Jason Stiles. I'm curious what other people think, because I think I'm in the minority. Certainly I don't like him more than her and Luke, but I actually think it's a really cute relationship.
Okay.
So I'm excited to get there, too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I see it with Lorelai and Luke.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it's 2 L names. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Luke and Lorelai.
But then I am the guy from Tangled with the 2 unicorns together, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
Sure, like get it in with Mr. Benito or whatever, but I want
I
want my unicorns to kiss.
I know.
Okay.
I agree. The other thing is that, so, like, Lorelai and Max end up having a date because his car breaks down in Stars Hollow. We actually don't meet Gypsy in this episode, but I think we saw what was supposed to be her, like, walking away. She is the mechanic. She's amazing. Okay. She's in so much stuff. I just went looking for her like it was actually that actress, and I don't think it even was. So once we meet her, I'll show her to you. And so they end up having this really great date. They get burgers and they go to the, like, tiny little movie theater that's, like, inside the movie rental place, I think.
Which is great.
It's so cute. And so
very romantic. This show makes me want to eat burgers like nobody's business.
It makes me want to eat burgers, and it makes me want to run away from my entire life, find a super small town, and just figure it out.
Yeah, and I am not a small town girly. I am a city mouse, 100%.
I'm this kind of small town girly. Plus, okay, if there's
this type, yes. If it's storybook and there are attractive men and like great houses with great porches and still delicious food, 100%.
And they're only 30 minutes away from a major city.
Yes, absolutely. Give me that.
And they're not too far from New York, because at one point in this episode or this season, they go to New York for like an evening.
Yeah, this would be the only type of small town I could do.
Just a really small New England town.
Just charming and quaint, and just like a stone's throw from a city, 100%.
So yeah, they have a really great date. They go back to her place. They start making out, and filtering into what we're going to talk about next, Lane is there running away from her problems. So the whole episode, Lane has been feeling super left out of her friendship with Rory, because she's, doing that thing where she's got a new boyfriend, and so it's like kind of all-consuming.
Oh yeah, Rory. Yeah. I was like, Lane is infatuated with that boy.
Rory.
Yeah.
Lane continues being infatuated with boys.
I mean, no one wants this.
But it's like she always like makes the feelings feel bigger than they really are. Yeah. She's like she goes too hard. She's like, oh my gosh, a cute boy. I'm in love with him. Yeah. Don't do that.
I know. Yeah. Not anymore. I'm a child.
Yeah.
My childhood crushes were like
teenage
that.
Love, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in love with this boy named Rich Blumenfeld, who's on the jazz band with her. And she's like talking about his hair, and then Dean interrupts talking about having read Jane Austen, and he's like shocked he liked it. I'm sick of men being shocked that they like Jane Austen.
Right. You're allowed to like love stories, my guys.
Well, also they're not even specifically love stories. They are incisive satire about like living in like high society. It's just
I've never finished Pride and Prejudice, like reading it.
Yeah.
But I had every intention to.
I've read Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, Emma, and Sense and Sensibility. So I haven't read Mansfield Park or Northanger Abbey.
I feel like I need to.
I have all of them out there.
Okay.
They're teeny, which is kind of because they've got like really like the onion paper.
Oh.
And then they're like really small, so the writing is small, but they exist out there if you want.
Well, and the fact that he was like, I weirdly liked it, but you really need to read Hunter S. Thompson. Ugh.
No.
Immediate red flag.
Immediately no. Immediately no. I will say this too. I'm trying not to give you like hard spoilers.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give you, like, some stuff where it's, like, once we meet Jess, he actually is, like, a book person.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the other thing, too, is, like, part of my issue with Dean is that Jared Padalecki doesn't look like he has anything in common with Rory.
Yeah.
So, it just all together does not work for me. It's really weird. I'm not a fan.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he feels like he's trying it on. Like, trying Rory on.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't know.
Y'all, I can't wait for her to watch season 4!
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Okay. So Lane is feeling super left out. This episode also makes me want to eat Rocky Road cookies.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any marshmallows, or I would try to make some.
Damn.
Because we have slivered almonds. So I could make a chocolate cookie with slivered almonds, but we don't have any marshmallows. Yeah. Should we DoorDash some marshmallows?
Well, you can do a Publix Quick Picks for kind of cheap.
Well,
cheap.
Just marshmallows for $14.
Right.
So Lane is getting ready for this jazz band thing. They are prepping their instruments outside in the snow for some reason.
But then the teacher says, don't put your mouth on it.
Correct. But the thing for me as well is that if your instrument is super cold, it takes too long to warm up to. So it'll go out of tune if it's too cold. The woodwinds especially, and brass. So it was really bizarre to me, the whole thing where it's like, don't you have a band room inside the school? Why are you not prepping in band room inside school?
And I know that it's like, this is a northern territory, and so things like still continue even though it is snowing outside, but outdoor activities are canceled.
Well, he said, don't put your mouth on your instrument until we're inside. So they were clearly about to do something inside. They kept on calling it jazz band, but she's dressed up like marching band.
Yeah.
So I was very confused all around about what Lane's extracurricular activity actually is.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
And what instrument she plays. I imagine like French horn.
Probably.
But I have no clue. You couldn't. Yeah, you could convince me of any brass instrument that she might be playing.
No, but the French horn, I feel like her mother would want a sense of elegance.
Well, it's also good for scholarships. Nobody wants to play the French horn.
Why? It's just tricky?
Yeah. It's like, my band director tried to make me play the bassoon because we had too many flutes. We did have too many flutes. But I was also first chair, and he tried to make me play the bassoon. And he had me, like, stay after one day to, like, try it. And I was like, this is awful. I'm not doing it. And he was like, okay. And I was like, why would you make me, like, no, I don't want to play the bassoon.
What a weird pivot.
I've been taking, well, it's the like, just any other woodwind. It's all the same fingerings. It's just huge.
Okay.
But I was like, I've been taking flute lessons for, like, 8 years. Why am I going to do this?
Weird.
It was bizarre.
The instrument that the main gal plays in Mozart in the Jungle is the bassoon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so it was like a whole thing because she's like this like young
prodigy. Yeah.
Thing. Yeah, yes, kind of.
Yeah.
But that's good. You guys should watch that if you haven't. And you haven't.
Hey, we're about to have a big opening for old content, so maybe we'll do it.
The first season is titties.
Yeah.
Second season, third season, I don't think I even watched it.
Well, I like all the people in it. That's the one with Gael Garcia Bernal, right? Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yep. And then the lady from Deep Blue Sea.
Saffron Burrows.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so they're prepping for this weird jazz band recital outside, and Lane, having not been able to talk to Rory or anybody about her crush on this boy in any meaningful way, totally loses the plot and runs her fingers through his hair. And he turns around and looks at her, and she just is like, oh, and runs away.
So many intrusive thoughts,
So many.
In that scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. But, I mean, she was going on, but she was like, he smells good.
Yeah.
And this.
He was cute. He's a cute guy.
And he did have good hair.
Yeah.
But, ooh.
Yeah, not good. So she runs away, and she goes to hide out at Lorelai's house. So when she and Max are, like, making out, and he catches sight of Lane, and he's like, how many kids do you have again? Not to mention that this one's Asian.
Yeah, right?
And she's like, just one, and she turns around and sees Lane, and so she obviously is like, well, we can't fool around now, but you can sleep on the couch if you want. And so she does that, and then meanwhile, Rory has been stuck in Hartford because Emily sent a driver to pick her up from school because the roads are crazy. And I love the stuff with Rory and Richard and Emily in this episode, because I think it's so enriching to the like lore of the Gilmore household and everything. So their cook can't make it because the roads are terrible. So they're like, we'll just starve. And they open up the freezer, and Emily's like, yeah, see, there's nothing in here. There's like,
there's just racks and racks and racks of wrapped meat.
Wrapped up meats in the freezer, and frozen pizza. So Rory's like, well, I can make this frozen pizza. And they both are like, what? Well, I don't understand. And so she does, and while it's cooking, she goes upstairs and is like fiddling through Lorelai's things. She finds like a photo booth strip and a photo album. And then she gets a page from Lane, so she calls, and they try to talk, but the phone line's cut out. And so it's just like one more thing where like Lane is feeling alienated. So they end up eating the pizza. It ends up going over pretty well. And so Rory decides to bring out the photo album. And so they start going through it, and it's like really cool until they get to the picture of Lorelai in her like debutante dress. And then it gets really weird because they're like, no, she didn't actually have a coming out. And obviously the elephant in the room is because she got pregnant. And they like, I don't know, because it's what I was talking about before. They're obviously not disappointed that Rory exists. But I think every time it comes up, they do think about the life that they thought Lorelai should have.
Yeah.
And what I think annoys me the most about Richard and Emily specifically, is that it takes her so too long to accept that Lorelai is happy anyway. Either that, or she has accepted that she's happy, but she doesn't like it that she's happy in such a different way than she intended.
I think that she doesn't understand how Lorelai could be happy in her life, and so I think she is mad because she doesn't understand.
Yeah, and that's just sort of like, really? Emily, come on.
Yep, because it's like, I understand that you don't understand it.
Yeah.
But ask questions, maybe participate a little bit, and then you'll understand.
And it just takes such a long time to like get like enough movement on those things, so it's kind of annoying. But yeah, so they do have like a pretty nice night still, and they looking at the photo album and stuff. So she keeps the little photo booth strip to herself, and then the next morning she gets home and Lorelai.
Can I tell you that Paul Frank shirt sent me on a tailspin? I
like still want it.
Oh, I had a pajama set. So it was a white tank top with a little monkey on it, and then I had pajama pants.
Yeah.
I wore those things until they were threadbare because every now and then my parents would like get me the thing I asked
you wanted,
for, and when they did, I understood that this was a special thing, and so I was like, I'm gonna hold it. This is my precious until it breaks.
It's amazing.
Oh,
amazing.
So good.
So she totally freaks out, and she's like, I have a boy here, and it's Mr. Medina, and like all of this stuff. And so Rory kind of freaks out too, but it ends up being fine.
Yeah.
But then Rory is like sort of sad watching them together while she's looking at the photo strip. So she's like happy for Lorelai, but she also has the like, why can't my parents be together kind of vibe.
But girl, where's your dad?
Yeah, we have not even met Christopher yet. I'm gonna see, let's see, I was like 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes till Christopher shows up. So yeah.
I mean, as a child of divorced parents, you do kind of want that, but I saw my parents together first.
Well, yeah, so she never did. They never tried to make it a go.
So
after.
Right. So then I'm like, why are you like
I think it's kind of a like what could have been, because they look so happy in the photo strip that she's like, why not?
Yeah.
Kind of, but yeah. So, and then she makes things right with Lane, where she's like, I'm so sorry, I tried to keep calling you back like all night and I didn't know, and like I'll definitely try to make time for you. One of the things about that you should keep in mind is that she basically was like, 100% of my time is for you now. And it's like, you
can't do that.
Balance. It doesn't ever come to anything. Like, she doesn't actually start doing that, and then Dean gets mad about Lane.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna hate him.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just, that sort of mentality where it's like, it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I did love her thing where she was like, well, you were here first. So Dean's going to have to deal. Agreed. 100% agreed with that.
Host before bros, bruh.
Yeah, I didn't actually think we were going to talk this much about this episode, but there are a couple of really good, like, moments that are important. So, oh my God, we're going to go watch the next one because I might force you to do 2 more tonight.
That's fine.
Because if we stop at the end of the next one, I think you're going to be so mad. Okay. So we have to watch the one after.
That's fine. Remember, we figured out my max was 4.
4, yeah. So I probably won't make you do 4.
But and I mean, and I'm hoping and we kind of get to a Christmas episode so we can kind of make this make sense a little bit.
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of.
Whatever. We're in a holiday season. It's snowing. Whatever. I'm doing a Barbie makeup series if you all are wondering why I'm doing this.
Follow her on Instagram and stuff.
Ray Nuts. Yeah. So that's why I recreated my 1991 holiday Barbie. Yeah. So
she just bought herself one.
I did from eBay for $28.
Yeah, we didn't put her up. We have to grab her when we're done with this, and then she'll live here for the next 2 episodes.
Yes.
Okay.
But so she was my favorite Barbie, and my grandmother, when I was in 4th grade, made me my own version of that dress. And my parents let me give away both of those things.
Yeah.
So as a 36-year-old and I have adult money now, I'm like, I see it. I want it.
I'm going to buy me that Barbie.
Yeah. And then she's just been laughing at me because I just keep gazing at it and just basking in my
all
joy
day on
nostalgia.
Friday. All day.
It was only a portion of the day.
All work day on Friday.
It was on my desk. I had to look at it. She's beautiful.
She's really pretty.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for us. We will be back with the next episode next week, and you can like, subscribe, and let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.